Hello, Awifians. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you all, wherever you may be in the world. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday or Thursday evening. Please come join me. We are going to South Africa today. So please take a minute to share this live stream with your family and friends. Come join an amazing girl from South Africa. I really, really adore her because of the energy that she brings to this world. Take the time, grab a cup of coffee, tea, or wine, whatever is appropriate wherever you are. My name is Lilian Mole. I am the founder and CEO of African Women's Economic and Entrepreneurship Forum, the place where we challenge the status quo for economic advancement of African women. Come join me. Hello, I just landed. How are you?
Fine, you. All good. Hello from South Africa.
Exactly. You know, that was a smooth ride. You know, my flight, no delay, nothing. See,
Yeah, no problems. Got my bags nicely, exited the airport, no problems.
From Switzerland to South Africa. How are you doing, Angela?
No, all well, considering the global pandemic, but everything is actually pretty much on point for me. Luckily, I've managed to secure myself a new position elsewhere, but we'll speak about that now.
Exactly. Yeah, the figures are not really encouraging for South Africa. So you're back to lockdown. What is the update now?
Well, we're not back on lockdown completely. We're on level 3. So that means most of the industries are open, except industries like the hospitality and tourism industry. I mean, it is kind of open, but you can only take up to 50 people. Bars and restaurants are basically closed. You're not allowed to drink alcohol. You're not allowed to have cigarettes. But other than that, the schools have also are closing again for 2 to I believe the matrics only 2 weeks break, and then everybody else about 4 weeks until they can go back to school, because the numbers are shooting up every single day at the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for taking the time to come speak with us. Let's just give a few minutes for people to join, and I'll just put the intro so people can know who we are. Just a few minutes, please.
No problem.
So yeah, we're back. Thank you. As I was saying, thank you so much for your time. You know how much I appreciate you, your energy. When my kids, they hear the name Angela, they're like, "Oh, Angela!" And I'm like, "Where did you guys meet?"
So they're so cute, man.
You must bring Angela to Switzerland. Angela, whoa!
Yeah, I'll volunteer to come to Switzerland, no problem.
So thank you for the light you share in the world. Even to my kids that have never seen you at 9 and 7, they are just like, "Whoa, fan of Angela!"
Sure, man, that's so sweet.
So today we're going to be talking about mindset. But before we do that, let's think of the quote of the day, which states, "Once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it." Does that resonate with you?
Absolutely. If you are in a positive mindset, you can only be in the right position to see positive things and positive opportunity. If you're in a negative mindset, you're always going to be seeing negative things. So it's important to have a positive and happy mindset about whatever's happening in your life, professionally or personally.
Exactly. But as a young girl in South Africa in general, what coming from Cameroon, we have a bit of both. But I think there is a confusion between a positive mindset or as we see it in the African context. What's your opinion on that?
Say again. Sorry, say again.
I said, as a Cameroonian, almost everybody in Cameroon is happy. But I think we have a different understanding of what a positive mindset is. So you growing up in South Africa, what do you think? What's your opinion on mindset itself, rather than being just happy?
Well, I think the misconception is that if you have a positive mindset, you believe that no bad can ever happen and nothing bad ever happens. But a positive mindset is about even when it's bad or when you encounter roadblocks or problems in your life, it's the ability to be able to see past that and see the positivity in your learning experience that will happen out of something negative. But it's not only about just, you also got to be wise about what you're going to be happy about. You can't just think all the great things are always going to happen, because it really isn't. I mean, most of the time horrible things and inconvenient things are happening, but having a positive mindset helps you overcome and move around it, go over it or under it, instead of consistently meeting it head on as a negative mindset.
Exactly. And today we are going to be talking about positive mindset, which allows you to see opportunities in life. Tell us a little bit about you and your journey before you joined this new company that you're working for called True Organica.
Yeah. Okay, so my background, I finished school 2008. And then I went straight into corporate. So I left school at 17. So I started in corporate, just turning 18, and that was at a pharmaceutical company called Nycomed at the time. Thereafter, while I was at marketing, at Nycomed, I did a marketing management certification. I did a medical specialist representative college that taught me all about selling in the pharmaceutical industry, as well as marketing and branding in the pharmaceutical industry. The college was called the Smart Group at the time. After I was at Nycomed for about 3 to 4 years, I dabbled in some teaching, property development, office automation, restaurants, hospitality, and then around the end of 2018, I started my events agency, which took me about 3 months to build. And then a month later, I resigned and started my own thing in corporate events and personal travel.
And that's how we met, because we were planning for
Yes.
an event in South Africa. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So I'm still going to hold you on that. I hope you're still going to do an event.
COVID will decide.
Africa.
But in any case, we are going to have an online version of it in October, November. We're still
Okay.
speaking to speakers. So yes, COVID will
Okay.
decide.
Okay. And then during my time when I started GK Event Management, my company peaked at around September, so that was approximately 7 months after. And then I was actually on a good road. 2020 was going to be absolutely incredible. And then, as we know, we got hit with COVID-19, so that really blew everything out of the water, and I had to now conceptualize and think of different ways that I can get some income in for myself.
Of course.
But during 2019, I traveled a lot of South Africa, saw, Cape Town, Durban, all the general areas, saw a bit of Tanzania, Botswana. We did Botswana and Mozambique as well. But then again, like I said, COVID-19 hit, and then I had to conceptualize something else.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I encountered True Organica, and I was only doing it on a consultancy basis. And then slowly but surely, I got brought in on a more permanent basis, and I was given a senior marketing and branding for Africa position. And I signed on with them for 2 years. True Organica is a company about medical CBD.
Okay.
So it's EU GMP approved CBD company. The company is Swedish based, and we've got also offices in the UK. What makes us unique is that we are, like I said, EU GMP produced, GAP certified, and we're traceable through a blockchain situation. So sorry, I'm not. The blockchain it's a digital way of being able to track the actual product itself. So if you buy from us, you'll be able to track that product, where it came from, how it was grown. You'll be able to see the facilities. So it's a very technologically smart farming process.
And how many employees do you have worldwide?
There's a gentleman that sits in Sweden. In Sweden. And then there's, of course, Robert Ulse, who's my CEO, that's South African based at the moment. He actually lives in home in Sweden, but of course, due to COVID, he's now in South Africa. And then there's somebody heading up the media. There's a Donovan Prince that does executive sales for Africa. And there's about 3 to 5 other people based here. But we are slowly but surely going to expand.
Great.
I think he wants to hire up to 150 people.
Great. And what is the gender balance, if I may ask? What is the ratio of gender balance?
I'm one of 2 females.
Okay, tell your CEO that's not enough. We may have to speak with him. He has to train more women to come work with him.
Yeah, I'll definitely have that word with him. I'll
tell him it's not enough. 2 is not enough. Not enough.
Yeah, so like I said, he is planning on expanding quite largely. So that will be looked into and managed accordingly.
Great, amazing. What are some difficulties you encountered along the way, and what kept you going? Because it's not easy as a young. Again, you just said it, 2 out of many. So you were very fortunate, and you had worked with them. So, what are some of the difficulties that you encountered before you had your own job, and now you have to work for somebody else? What are some of the difficulties that you had?
It's just not too many difficulties. I mean, I don't really have an issue working for somebody. One of the changes is that suddenly now I need to get dressed and, work every day by 9 o'clock. I can't just roll out of bed and, work on my laptop in my bed in my pajamas anymore. But it's actually been a breath of fresh air. It's been nice having a nicely structured day now. But some of the other challenges is that a lot of the time I get little to no support from family, just because they're not risk takers like I am. So for them, they can't really understand the vision when you're starting something from the ground. So that's been one of the biggest challenges, is that because I'm young as well, you have to know support from family, because of course they just worry about you and all of that. But it's tricky when, you're trying to do something great and, your parents are like, no, don't do it. It's not going to work out. But one of the things that do drive me is if somebody tells me I can't do it, I'm going to now absolutely going to go out and do exactly that, just because you told me I couldn't.
And that's why you're a model to so many girls. And you were so passionate about your sport. I was like, wow, how much time does she have? So now with your 9 to 5, how does your health and fitness fit into all of this?
Well, I mean, for example, this morning I was up at 4:30.
You're my girl.
Meal prepping helps with scheduling as well. So if you just need to open the fridge and you've got all your chicken and your veg chopped up and you just need to grab a Tupperware and then go to work, So you just need to organize, because you're not just at home, anymore. But I'm either training in the mornings or in the afternoons.
Okay. So you just turn the table around and make this work.
Evolve. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you are, as I said before, you are a good example of a young African woman who does not put all of her eggs in one basket. That's a very smart attitude at a very young age. What adversity led you to this? How did you stumble upon this idea of, I've got to have many eggs in different baskets?
Fortunately, my adoptive dad was a very smart man. He was a member of Mensa, and he was also an extraordinarily successful entrepreneur himself. And he always encouraged me when I was still in high school to always take any opportunity that comes, and to be brave enough to hear the word no. And, he just encouraged me to try different things. He said, because you never know when you might fall back on it. You never know when you might need it. And strangely enough, all of the experience that I've got working at True Organica is kind of bundled everything together at once, with my pharmaceutical background, the events background, property development background, marketing background. So all of my kind of my skill sets and all that came together as one. So I mean, also the teaching side, we'll be doing a lot of training in terms of product and training other salespeople coming in. So the teaching experience is going to help me in good stead. You know, knowing how to do teaching prep has helped me put together the educational curriculum that we're going to need for True Organica. So all that I've done has now kind of smashed all together, and I can do all of it at once, which is awesome.
That's great. That's great that everything falls in, you know, at one point, everything just falls in place. The puzzle is complete.
Yeah. So it's been an awesome ride. I'm very fortunate to have met Rob, and he's somebody that's got huge vision, and so it's going to be a very, very awesome time to be mentored and to observe him going forward.
I must go to your website and see what you guys do, and
Yeah. I'll send you all the details.
Please do, because it really sounds interesting. And do you credit this attitude to your dad alone, or is just that you as the student you were ready for a teacher to show up for you to be the woman that you are today?
I think it's just I'm just one of those people that's insistent on trying new things, and I'm also insistent on having my own money. I don't want to have to marry somebody to have money, and I don't want to have to rely on my mommy and my daddy to give me money. And frankly, I love to work, and I like the structure, especially in corporate. I thought I didn't like corporate life, and actually, it's perfect for me. I enjoy structure, and I love to grow things and to test things, and then slowly surely see how it works. You know, little bit by little bit. But you see how your ideas and your marketing strategy comes together, and it starts to snowball and become something positive.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, as you know, on this platform, we talk about financial freedom. What is your plan towards financial freedom, and what roadblocks do you already see, do you foresee as you start planning your financial freedom? I know you're going to hit your goal. I'm sure. But
oh no, I want Prada one day. I need Prada bags. I want nice things. So I'm absolutely wanting financial freedom, but based on my own sweat. So I'm hoping working here will be the catalyst to that. Some of the stumbling blocks, as we know, is COVID-19 with my events agency. Obviously, when the time is right, I'm going to hire somebody to replace me, because being involved with True Organica, my hands are going to be too full to concentrate on the agency. So together with my agency, with True Organica, I intend to do great things in the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah.
Okay, but that's just one part of financial freedom. We're getting into the conversation. What opportunities do you hope to see in Africa when it comes to creating multiple income stream? Because as I said before, 9 to 5 is one income stream. You have your company as well, which might not be a real income stream until it's fully functional. It takes time, it takes years. So how do you, what opportunities do you see, especially now with COVID? You know, do you see opportunities?
Absolutely, entrepreneurship. Like right now is the time to be able to conceptualize something that will give somebody else a solution. Especially in South Africa, it's advantageous to be a Black female. So it's important for females to investigate and look into entrepreneurship, because that can give you all sorts of kinds of possibilities. You encounter a new network, you encounter new people. And yeah, I mean, long-term buying property is an excellent way of additional income stream. But like I said, you know, entrepreneurship for me is one of the most important areas for ladies to look into, especially if you want to be standalone on your own. You know, nobody wants to have to rely on a man, like I said earlier, because, you know, that can change the next day, you know.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. We know
sees another pretty lady tomorrow, and then suddenly your income stream is gone. You know, you don't.
I have always said a man is not an income stream. Never, ever. Our moms told us that way long ago, but that has changed, and more women, example like you, are beginning to understand that, girl. You know, I've got to get my own back before anything. Before love, let me love myself.
Exactly. So if he wants to leave, he must just remember to close the door behind him, and I'll be fine.
That's a good one. Just close the door. Remember, I know
Just
all
close the door behind you.
So how is the situation with real estate? You said for it's an advantage to be a black female in South Africa at the moment. Why so? Why do you have that feeling?
Well, it's actually quite a sticky subject in our country. So it's because of what happened in apartheid those 20 something years ago. And what the premise is that Black people lost out on opportunity because of apartheid.
Yes.
So the government brought in broad-based Black economic empowerment, which means Black females specifically get priority in terms of selling and contracts and anything affiliated to that. So it's broken down in a whole different types of levels. So you get from level 1 all the way down to level 8. So yeah, so if you're a Black female or Black male, or if you're Indian or colored or anything, you get first priority over the Caucasian folk, which actually isn't very fair, honestly. But to some degree, I do understand because of a lot of people lost out during.
Yeah.
So they're trying to.
They are trying to balance out the equation here.
Yeah, they're trying to balance it out. But yeah, it's a very touchy subject in our country, though. Yeah.
I must interview on the other platform where I try to it's not fight racism, but to speak of racism in a more positive way, because I mean we complement each other. But this kind of these ideas are good, provided it's not being used against the other color. So yeah, it's an opportunity, to balance out the equation.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it's a very
Yes.
it's a very touchy subject, and I don't want to go into it too much, just in case I say the wrong thing or.
Exactly. But this is it, there's this fear of, is it going to be the wrong thing? But when are we going to heal so we are not afraid of what the other person is going to say, of how we are going to react, or how you are going to, on what grounds you are stepping. If you say something, you should be able to say something, because that's how you understand it, or that's how you feel. But yes,
And that's what freedom of speech is, isn't it?
exactly.
So, yeah.
In your opinion, are African women putting in the work towards their financial freedom? And is Africa, so these are two questions, are they putting in the work? You said there were opportunities, which I'm glad to hear as a Black female in South Africa. So South Africa is trying to balance out the equation of what happened years ago, which is a great thing. But are the women putting in the work? And is Africa in general ready to see financially free women? Because I can tell you, me, for some Black men, I'm just too much.
I can totally relate with that. I can totally relate with that. A lot of people consider me a little bit much, or I've been called holier than thou. I don't know. Honestly, I mean, where I come from, women are slowly but surely attempting to gain their own financial freedom, but there's still a load of women that are relying on men.
Yes.
Which is quite scary, because it's a completely misguided plan. It's not a long-term and safe plan to rely on a man. But I'm seeing more so women strategically marrying and strategically having babies and running their lives around men. But more and more, I'm seeing women are trying to gain their own financial freedom. Yeah, especially in the tourism and hospitality industry.
Yeah, because that's not a male thing either.
I beg your pardon?
Don't find many male in the hospitality business.
Not really, but they are. They definitely are. But it's definitely a predominantly female industry. Yeah.
So are women shying away from more business entrepreneurship to more specific areas like maybe housewives or just teachers, nurses, than having their own businesses?
A lot of people are scared, and a lot of people aren't brave enough to take on something like entrepreneurship and starting your own business, just because it's you're not just being handed a salary every month.
Yes,
It's
yes.
very scary for a lot of people to know that they've got a lot of bills to pay and children to feed, and managing their finances. So having your own business is a very scary thought, because it's up to you. It's only you. It's all you. So if you drop the ball, then it's going to be extraordinarily problematic for your life and your children and what have you, that you are responsible for. But for me, entrepreneurship was freedom, and that's all I honestly wanted, was to be professionally free.
Yes, yes, yes. I see your point. And is Africa ready to see more financially free women? As we just said, for some men, this is scary business. Having a financial free woman is scary to them. Are they
I
ready?
mean, I know that African countries are still quite, I don't know if the right word is misogynistic.
Yes.
Women aren't as smart, women aren't as this, women can't XYZ, XYZ. And I feel like based on that, that's even more reason why I had to prove it to myself that a woman can also run a business, a woman can be in a high position. And I was talking to a gentleman called Melody. He does a few talk shows and everything in South Africa. And he was saying that, gosh, I lost my train of thought. Melody. Okay, but moving on from that, I just feel a lot of the time it's still male dominated in South Africa specifically. But oh yes, he was saying that he reports to a female, and he said that it's a far more nurturing style of management versus how a male would run a business or be management. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting if I could really have a live stream with him, because we have to have this conversation. We cannot continue the trend the way it is right now. It's not moved. It's like we're stuck in the same thing over and over, and that's not helpful to to your generation, because what example are we giving you? You know,
Yeah.
if, but I also understand that there was this tendency of being strategic towards men because you want to have your children, and there's a span. After 40 it gets complicated, so you really have to calculate. Do you want to be a wife? Do you want to be a mom? Then you have to go towards that, because also in Africa it's like a stigma. If you're not married, if you're not called Mrs., it means you're not a good one, or you are not worth it, or nobody wanted you. It's like
Yeah.
there is this
Yeah.
stigma. And if you're not a mom, if you don't have children, again, that's a second stigma. Then
Yeah.
you're financially free without a man, without children. Whoa, you're like a ghost.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I would rather have a successful career than children. Even as much as children can be in my plan, but I'm turning 30 next year, so that gives me what,
10
6
more. 10 more
years
years.
at most.
At
That
most.
means I still need to find a husband. I still need to, get to know him. Still. So I've already decided that if a husband happens and children happens, awesome. If not, doesn't
Okay,
matter.
but that this is why you are so you are adored, as you're seen as a model for many women, because you have that willpower, and you've made up your mind. I don't think I was that categorical with children at the age of 30. I don't think so. Maybe I cannot remember that, but you have this will and the motivation, and you are clear with what you want and what you don't want. Why are you so track? Just on point.
Because I mean, like, one of my goals, honestly, one day in my life when I'm a little bit older, I would like to run seminars teaching young women uh, body confidence,
Yes, yes.
confidence within yourself. Um, you know, not like falling prey to societal pressures like you need to be married, a woman's supposed to behave like this, a woman is meant to do this, a woman must, a woman must, a woman must, a woman's not allowed to like sex, a woman's not allowed to, you know what I mean? So I
Yes.
would to run seminars teaching other
You
women.
better get me
You're
on
allowed
that
to
seminar.
decide whatever you want.
I would
You're
love
allowed
to
to
join
have
you on
and
this
do
path.
whatever you want. Sorry, pardon?
I would love to join you on that path because it's a conversation that must happen.
Yeah, it certainly has. And so many ladies are afraid to just be who they are because they're too scared about, what their mother might think or what society might think or what their friends might think. Like for me, the most important thing is to worry about what you think and what you want and what you need to do for yourself, for yourself.
First, yeah.
In a healthy and wise way,
Yeah. No, that conversation must happen because, as I said, we're not moving forward. And if South Africa, a country like South Africa, can take the lead, then that would change Africa in general because many countries are looking up to South Africa.
I believe so. I mean, I haven't traveled Africa too much. Like I said, I've only done Tanzania, Mozambique, and Botswana. And to be frankly, completely honest with you, it was more on a company leisure base. So it's not like I was going to different companies and meeting different CEOs and people in other companies in other African countries. So it's difficult for me to say in terms of other African countries.
Yeah. And with girls of your generation, I mean, with your friends, are they also on the same wavelength, or there is a big gap between the way you think and the way others think about their lives as a female?
It depends. I mean, I've got some of my friends still live at home with their parents, worked more than a year in their lives and they're turning 30, and somehow they're okay with that. I mean, each to their own. I am a little bit misunderstood in some of my network, but like I said, I'm completely unconcerned with anybody else's thoughts and opinions about what I'm up to. It's my life,
Exactly. And as you grow up with this character, what does your dad think of you? I mean, how does he perceive you?
I wish I could tell you that my dad passed away 4 years ago. But I think he would be really proud, because he was also eccentric like I am. As much as I didn't come from him, he was just as eccentric, full of dirty jokes and one of those that didn't have to sit and practice a speech. He would just stand up and have the whole room in stitches. Had such a dirty sense of humor, and just super on the ball. His attitude was also like, I don't want to have to, clock in at 9, and then my lunch is at 12, and from 12, if he wants to go to lunch at 11:30 in the morning, then that's what he's going to do. So that was his attitude. So I mean, I often say that I wish I could have my dad around to see what he would say and to gain more wisdom from him. But I can only hope that he would be proud of me.
Exactly. Yeah. My daughter will have to say the same because my husband also passed away 3 years ago. So I feel so I'm more getting to know why there is this connection more and more. But in his absence, just know that you're amazing. You are really someone who I think is going to change the way girls see themselves. And I pray that you have the courage to continue. So please,
thank you.
Just continue shining your light the way you do.
Thank you so much, Lillian. They're such kind words.
Let's take a comment before we continue. Okay, it's just a hello. Okay, hello. Thank you for joining us. Please share the live stream with your family and friends. And with your will and the power that you have and this free way of thinking to be the best version of yourself, what one piece of advice can you give a younger woman who sees you as a model? You're fit, you're healthy and ambitious. What one advice can you give to that young woman today?
I would say, don't let anyone tell you your ideas or ambition is silly or misguided. And I would say, do whatever you want wisely. Literally.
You are valid. Your ideas are valid. Don't let anyone bring them down, or don't let anyone make you feel small.
Yeah.
That's
don't let anybody don't let anybody dim your light, because you gotta let yourself shine. Use your voice. Use your brain, and just push forward, and decide what you want in your life and act on it and do it. Yeah.
And what's your biggest dream for yourself, financially speaking?
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
What's your biggest dream for yourself, financially speaking, in the sense that, do you want to, at a certain age, be financially free, that you probably don't have to work? Do you want to help many more women become financially? What's a goal, financially speaking, for you?
Like I said, I'd love to do those seminars one day.
Yes.
Someday, at a point where, I'm not working a full 9 to 5 job anymore, or, that's what would be one of my goals, is to do those seminars to help other girls feel brave.
And what do you think it's holding African women back, that they cannot be as brave as you are, or that they're still holding that goal inside of them?
I think for a lot of women, cultural and family rules. Our family's always done it this way. Okay, that's fine, but I'm going to be doing it this way. And I feel a lot of people, especially Africans, Black Africans, are put under a lot of cultural and ancestral pressure. And I just feel like you're your own person. You don't have to do it that way. You really don't.
Yeah. But is it because we're comfortable with it? Is it because we don't want to get out of this clan that we are in, as family, as a community? Why do we?
People like the safe zone. People like comfortable. And for me, there's nothing more exciting than not knowing. There's nothing more exciting than something else, something different. Being comfortable means you're not growing at all.
Yeah.
Because if you're just sitting and neither moving forward, sides, you're not moving. So what kind of growth can you expect if you're in your safe zone?
Yeah. So what does it take to break this cycle? Because again, we cannot continue like this. What does it take to break this mindset?
You need to trust yourself. You need to trust yourself, and you need to trust in your capability. You need to trust in the ideals that were given to you by your family, from school, from college. And, you got to just build it your own way and press on forward. If you don't, obviously you make mistakes, and sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes you hit your head very hard. I'm very well vested, and my head is very hard these days because I've hit it that many times.
That makes two.
You can't be embarrassed. You can't be shy to hear the word no. You can't be too shy to make a mistake, because with mistakes comes learning. You can't learn without messing something up, or dropping the ball, or making a mistake, or perhaps making the wrong decision. Because if you've made the wrong decision, okay, that was wrong. Now I can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We have so many dreams for Africa. We want so much for Africa. We are all yearning for change. I don't know if all of us are ready for the change, if it really happens. So what is your biggest wish for your beloved continent?
Oh, Lillian, I just wish that we could be governed by people that aren't thieves. That would make a world of difference. If we get 500 billion given to the country to help us with COVID, but most of it just...
Yes. That's an African thing, corruption, yeah.
These are your people. Look, I don't keep too close of tabs on politics, just because it's just so disappointing, and it makes you upset, and it hurts your feelings, because how is this continuously allowed? So if we could be governed by people that aren't blatant thieves, that would make huge difference to our African continent.
Yeah.
I wish.
But it's surprising.
I wish our vote made a difference. That's my wish.
Yeah, but that's a big one, because it's like a 80% of the continent is corrupt. That's how we live. That's how we do things. That's how we do business. You have to.
And that's why we're behind in the world, because we're too busy satisfying personal greed instead
Yes.
of doing something.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think that if more women had more power, things would change? Things would be different? There would be less corruption? Do you think so?
It's hard to say. I mean, our ANC is made up of many women in high cabinet or what have you.
But do they
And
have the power to make the change, even though they're there?
I mean, they certainly could. They could. I just feel like it's too far deep in terms of the corruption. People in the back pockets, too many, too much. And I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure a woman would be able to make huge difference. But it's like I said, like I don't keep too much of close tabs to politics and that. But I know that there are women in our cabinet, and they just as sneaky as the rest. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't think. I mean, has there ever been a woman president anyway?
Well, there's in Sierra Leone.
I beg yours?
Sierra Leone.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Is she not? Yeah.
Wow. And is she making a difference in Sierra Leone?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I mean, all what we see now has been happening for years, for decades. So we also need time to unlearn those habits that we had, and that's going to take more. We need the time, and we need to see more women for a longer period of time. Then we can be able to judge if really that change is possible or not. But the question is, are we not already comfortable? And even back in your community, are we not just going with the flow and just let things happen? Because we have to live from day to day, and we are not really standing up to say, no, this is not what we want change. But change, standing up in a very positive way without all these crazy riots that we see. I really don't know what, I mean, there is so much dream and hope for Africa. That's why we're on this platform. The question is Africa ready? Are the Africans themselves ready to make this change? It's going to be difficult. It's 360 degrees. We have to turn around.
It's very difficult, especially because most of our country is in poverty. So from an education perspective, there's a lot of people that are very far behind in terms of education. So it's difficult for them to really understand what needs to happen. But I mean, in general, I feel like people need to be the change they want in the world within themselves first before you are changing the world. I mean, or the country.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. We don't have the entire day to talk about this, but it's so deep and it's so pleasant to talk with you. I hope that we can plan a second live stream as a panel discussion, because I know I'm putting together a group of South African women. So I would really like to have you on that panel, because we need to speak to different generations to understand where exactly is this roadblock. Why are we not capable of making this shift? Because to me, it's just business as usual, irrespective of the generation. So something is not working, something is not moving. Yet people want change. So where are we stuck exactly?
Yeah. It's because we want change, but are you willing to change? Is the actual question. Everybody is marching outside. We want change. But do you want to change? Probably not. And that's, I feel, is one of the main problems, is that people will shout that they want the change, but they're not willing to change themselves.
And do they really understand the change they're talking of? Because I have a feeling we start shouting only when we are being pinched at a certain point, on a certain place. When the tap doesn't flow anymore, no more money, no water, then we complain. But the change is all around other things, like our attitudes, the actions we take, the way we treat others, and we're not doing those, making those shifts. So how do we expect the change to happen?
Exactly my point.
But we can start with generations like you and younger. So how can
the younger generations,
how can we put in place under your supervision, how can we work with AWIF so we can bring in more girls to have this mindset of you are more than the society is providing for you? How can we ignite this the conversation?
Sure. I mean, it would first be a whole lot of canvassing ideal candidates in order to bring into this and start asking them all sorts of questions. Maybe you and I can compile some questions that I can ask people under the age of 30 that are entrepreneurs versus being employed versus still living at home with their parents.
Exactly.
Asking these questions and then compiling it and then seeing how we can move forward with that.
Yeah. So who is one of the entrepreneurs that you admire in South Africa right now of your generation?
Of my generation? Oh, that's a tricky one.
Because we need to know the name, and I will call them and see how we can get a live stream and bring in more women, bring in more girls. That's the point of my question.
Well, let me mull that over, and then so that I can give you a proper direction and a person to get in touch with. Off the top of my head, I can honestly not think of one as yet, but I know that they are. But like I said, off the top of my head, as you
see, this is what worries me, that we are not able to just call names. It means they're not enough. They're not enough.
I mean, one of the women I did look up to, her name was Nomkita Mweni. I actually all paid for her years and years and years ago, and she was a single mother, but extraordinarily successful. And, she was just one of those that was consistently at college and at university and studying more and gaining more kind of skill sets and expertise. So, I mean, from around 20 years old, I would say one of the main people I've been paying attention to is Nomkita Mweni. But like I said, she's not an entrepreneur per se. I think she's CEO of some part of ABSA at the moment. Not 100% sure. I'll have to look it up for you. But but I will do some research and have a look for you in terms of people in my age group that are entrepreneurs.
Yeah, we need to have this conversation. We need to put something together, and as we speak, we are calling on donors. We are calling on investors to please join us so we can build a group in South Africa of female entrepreneur. So we change the history. We rewrite this history that's just obvious to us.
Yeah. Let's do it. That sounds great. That would be awesome.
I think we should. It cannot be, if we don't start this discussion with your generation, nothing will change. Your children will experience the same treatment.
Same. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's start this. So Angela, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure having you. Let's continue the conversation behind the scenes and come up with something, please.
Lovely. Thank you so much for having me and having the opportunity to have this chat, Lillian.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Okay. Bye. So yeah, Awifi, and that was it. Thank you so much for your time, Angela, all the way from South Africa. I hope that you can join this conversation by sending us a message so we can put you in contact with Angela. Or if you are in South Africa and you think this conversation can benefit you in any way, if you're in South Africa and you think you're stuck with your business or your business idea, your entrepreneurship idea, let us know. Send us a message at administration@awif.org. And please do not forget to join our community. You have the link right there on the comment box. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know how we can help you. COVID-19 is causing havoc in Africa. And we're going to be starting a different stream of live stream here, talking to entrepreneurs to see how we can better support you. Do take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. I'll be here again tomorrow and Sunday. My name is Lillian Mole, and I will see you in the next live stream. Bye-bye.